Namaskar, good morning, welcome, Jai Guru. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Remembering the Divine Mother, Mahavatar Babaji, the Deathless Master, seeking their blessings and guiding us, holding our hand, taking us to Krishna, Yogakshema Vaham Vaham. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and the Supreme Jagat Janani, Mother of the Universe, the Brahman, Ishvara, Prakriti and Purusha, with our Gurudeva Paramahamsa Yogananda, Yukteswar Giri Lahiri Mahasaya, seeking their blessings and guidance, blessing us, holding our hand to take us across to attain that ultimate bliss of oneness. In this life alone, seeking the blessings of Karma Yogi Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. Today we shall talk a little bit about which we spoke on Thursday, little more details on Swami Vivekananda's performance in the United Nations when it was formed in 1945, and the Secretary General was going through their mission statement, and subsequently when in 1997 he came across the mission statement made by Swami Vivekananda Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's mission, he was shocked to see that what United Nations had made with the great people of the world in their committee, it was made by Vivekananda. The United Nations missions were almost identical to the Ramakrishna mission, which was made in 1899. 1895, 1893, he gave the statement to 11th of October, 11th of September 1893 in Chicago World Conference, and in 1894 he made the first Vedanta ashram in New York. 5 years before, actually the one which was made in India. Before the one in India, it was done in there. Vivekananda, when I talk about Vivekananda, I find himself to be a truly magician. Magician, when you look at a magician creates magic which is unbelievable. And you know it, that magic is not real, but the magician is real. Let me take you through these slides. Why am I calling a magician? You know, what do the magicians do? If you look carefully, they make things which appear to be unreal, and it creates that world. The most important magic that Vivekananda did, he made people see themselves, what they did not know about themselves. He made them realize who they really are. And generally, if you look at, we think we are a small creature of this universe with a little flesh and a body and a name, and we are born, and we will grow, we will get a profession, we'll earn some money and hoard some money and leave it behind with the family, and then grow old, and then decay, and then leave this body called die. Canty, Josephine McLeod, a great socialite, she explains Vivekananda. She says, being a socialite in America, people suffer from things like sickness and disease, not having enough money, property. People also suffer from having too much. And this is the problem today in the Western world. They have storehouses. When the things get too much in the house, they put it in the garage. And those of you been often, they find they have garage sales. Quite often you'll find garage sales around. As you're driving through any society, you'll find in every Saturday, Sunday, there is some garage sale is on. Because they have too much and they don't know what to do with it, so they sell it out. But surprising thing is, they have another storehouse and that you can hire. When things get too much beyond the garage, then they hire huge rooms and they go and put their stuff over there. This the problem of having too much. And in that time, Josephine McLeod is saying, I have been around the world, I have met many great people. And she's recollecting that when I met Tsar of Russia, I found him to be so magnificent, so great. And when I met Swami Vivekananda, I found Swami Vivekananda to be such a giant spiritual character, so great. But with Tsar of Russia, I felt I'm so insignificant, I'm so small. But with Vivekananda, I found he's so great, but I went ahead and felt I am so great too. This is what with the magician Vivekananda makes you feel a giant of a character. Just think, I'm looking at myself. We grew up in a family where my mother and the father, particularly mother, and everybody used to almost in a month, 2 times, 3 times, we would drive down or go by train. That is almost 20 kilometers away. Those days, 20 kilometers away was a lot of time because there were no driving down, as in sense, it was all in a cycle or in a train or something like that. Cars and all very rare to be found. I'm talking about 1950s. We used to go down to Velur Math, Dakshineshwar, and we grew up in that family, and yet we talked about it, we heard it, we found Vivekananda and Velur Math and Ramakrishna Mission is so great, and so did Paramahamsa Yogananda. And I still remember when Paramahamsa Yogananda left his body, my mother came and said, today he has left his body. So like that, we grew up. But till the time, in 1971 operation time, I was thickly involved as a fighter pilot in a squadron. We were working for almost 14 days in the, this is called the underground operation room. You're not allowed to go anywhere. You're always staying there only. You're sleeping there. You're on the table, put your head down and sleep. No full rest. And you could just about wash up and things so that everything is there. After about 14 days, non-stop working 24 hours a day, I was given permission individually. My flight commander told me, you can go ahead, Robbin, and take 2 hours break, wash up and come back, change your clothes. I went off. Within 30 minutes, I was fresh, feeling good. I had 1.5 hours left. And because I had not taken so much of interest in, I was very fond of reading spiritual stuff, but I had not read Swami Vivekananda. I was given, when I was 6 years of age, autobiography of Yogi by my aunt, my mother's elder sister. I had read autobiography. I had read Kovades and Tarzan and Robinson Crusoe and Robin Hood and that kind of book, and Mahabharata and Ramayana and Panchatantra, little bit of Bhagavatam. Those stories, like a story, Panchatantra. But I had not really taken it very seriously to study of the spiritual text, to get involved into it. When that 1.5 hour left on the thick of 1971 operation, I got attracted to that shelf. I was given that 8-volume set of Vivekananda's by my mother, because she was saying, Tera kya hoga? What are you going to do? Everybody had taken initiation. I was the only one had not taken. You read this book. I very pleasantly took it. I kept it nicely. It was looking very nice. Hard copy. I still have it, but I never read it. And that day, suddenly Vivekananda's book invited me. And I went down and started to read Raja Yoga, and my transformation began. Just imagine, this is what Vivekananda did, made people feel how great they are and how great this universe is. See, look at this magician. If you and I are theistic religion follower of Dvaitavad, Vishishta Dvaita, or Advaita, God is the magician, and this universe is created by God. And you and I, being an Advaitavadi, we know this is like a dream. This world is not real. We keep saying it's not real, it's not real. And you think, come on, how can it be not real? And that is why we keep on talking about understanding it. That what exactly is Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishtva Dvaita is talking about. In which Vivekananda had brought in, about 1400 years of 14th century, something about 700 years ago, there is Panchadashi. We talked about it before, in which in the 13th chapter, the author, he brings in a beautiful analogy in which he talks about the Advaitavadi, the great Advaitavadi. In Panchadashi, he's talking about, you take, those days, there were no cloth available or those kind of a canvas available for painting. And he's comparing the supreme consciousness, God, Ishvara, as a painter. And he's saying, you take a piece of cloth and that piece of cloth is blank. He's comparing it with Brahman. Brahman is like that. Absolutely white piece of cloth. There is nothing in it. And now you put starch in it and make it stiff so that you could do painting. And this starch in it is the Maya coupled with Brahman. And as per Upanishad, Maya coupled with Brahman is the description of Ishvara, in which now the artist makes outlines, and those are the formation of this world outside. He's comparing. Those are the outline of our mind and our manas and intellect, and the memory and the ego are coming in. And then the artist does the painting. In the jivas, like you and I, we are born into this world. But it is a painting. He's comparing it with that. This is how the world is. And if you look back in the Mandukya Upanishad, it's talking about that this Jagrat state, like right now you and I are experiencing the Jagrat. Who's experiencing it? Think, I'm looking at this clock. Who's looking at the clock? My eyes. Anything that I experience is an object. Anything. So things in the world we are experiencing. How does one experience? Definition of experience, remember, is an object and consciousness, awareness. This awareness is with which you experience the world. Today, refocusing on our earlier understanding, if I am unconscious or in coma, I cannot experience the world. The world for me does not exist anymore. For it to exist like a dream, I have to be aware. Dream is what? Now look at it. Jagrat state. I'm experiencing the world, the people, my family, my financial status and job, no job, doing good, writing, not writing, learned, school, college, university. This is experience of the real world. And now I go off to sleep. Just think, have you ever looked at it this way? That when you go off to sleep, this so-called the dream world comes in which you have lost total control, total knowledge of your body, of your mind. We have no idea, no awareness of our body, name, form. Only we are aware in our dream world is I. That dream world I'm experiencing, I'm dancing, I'm eating. So notice, if I eat 3 pizza pieces, and before going to sleep, I may have taken 2 pieces. In the morning, I don't get up and say, I have eaten 5 pieces of pizza. Or if half a pizza is left, I don't wake up and go to the fridge to see where is the other half of the pizza. Just like I got a lottery in my dream. I don't wake up and try to check my bank account, what is the balance? Of course, there is one more thing, I don't have to pay tax for it either. So in the dream body, what I'm trying to get to is we experience another body, another mind, and this body and the mind is left. And that another body, another mind is because of the awareness, consciousness. Now I get into the dream to deep sleep state. In the deep sea, Sushupti, I have no knowledge, no mind, no name, no body, no form, but I have absolute blankness. I am experiencing the blankness. That is no experience of the body or the name or the form. Total blankness, like a blank wall in my deep sleep. So Mandukya Upanishad is making us aware that you cannot experience the Jagrat, the waking world, unless you're aware. You cannot experience your dream world unless you're aware of the dream world. Your body, mind, name is God. It is sleeping on the bed, but you have got another body, another name. You may be in New York or in somewhere in Himachal Pradesh and going on to deep sleep. Mind shuts down, physical experience shuts down, and you're in another world. And this is where Vivekananda brought this magic, became the magician to tell us, you do not know who you are. He goes on to, let me read it out to you. He used to say this, Chinvanentu Vishveshu, Amritasya Putraha. You don't know who you are. You're the Amritasya Putraha. Vedantam Purusham Mahantam. You are the ultimate, only thing you do not know. My children of the immortal bliss, you've forgotten who you are. And this is what is the magician Vivekananda. He brings out a simple, ordinary person to make them extraordinary. This was his blessings from his Guru, Paramahansa Ramakrishna. He could see that you could transform, and this is the message which brought India to the world map in 1893, 11th of September. Listen, ye children of immortal bliss. And this message transformed our ideas of thinking of being limited being. I am a little being and I'm born, creatures of flesh and blood, and who are born to be fated to die. Anything which is born will die. We soon enough hear about it, learn about it. The moment you become teenagers, begin to understand, and you see old people, and you realize you will also become one like that one day. Sicknesses invades us. Have more or have less suffering comes in. You say, I don't mind having more suffering. Hey, you would be surprised. Those who have more, they're the ones coming down to India now, studying in Harvard and New York University about who am I really wanting to know. And this I am is not the Jagrat, not the Swapna, not the Susupti. It is beyond that, the Chaturtham, the Turiya, the fourth, which is the real I. This real I is experiencing through the body, whether good health or sickness, and experiencing the world outside, which is why it is called like a dream. But if this awareness consciousness goes away, it is gone away. It becomes blank, no awareness. A very good example, one monk in the Himalayas, I have heard about it, and this monk who was talking about it, from who I heard, he's saying, imagine a father from a village is taking his son to watch a movie. I've narrated this before, but it's such a powerful example right now. These days, you hardly find young children who has not seen a movie. Everybody does. Imagine, but in this case, this boy had never seen a movie. And father explained to him, you will see a white screen. And in that white screen, there are pictures will come. And I am taking you to see Mahabharata. The father takes the boy across. It just so happened, and this example comes in more alive, because when they walked in, picture had already started. That is important for you to know. Picture had started. So the boy was amazed, huge screen, and lots of things are happening, and picture and roaring and sound. After some time, the boy realized, and a question came to his mind. He says, Father, where is that white screen you talked about? The father says, right in front of you. I'm comparing this with this, what we call a waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, to make it understandable. Vidyaranya, who in Panchadashi has talked about it, that white screen is exactly like this, and which Vivekananda talked about, bringing Vidyaranya. He brought the ancient, rich heritage of India, the text, the wisdom, the knowledge, and dwelled into it and made it worldwide famous today. 159th birthday. I was getting messages from Ireland, Dublin to Holland. Everybody's experiencing, and that's so nice to see. In Dublin, you would be amazed, there were about 24 kids between 5, 6 to about 7, 8 years of age, young children. And in this COVID-19 time, they must be not observing it, because I didn't find the whole picture is coming. If you all like, contact me, I'll send you the link. These children in that school were singing nursery rhymes in Sanskrit, and were singing Amritasya Putraha. They were singing Asato ba Satgamaya, Tamaso ba Jyotirgamaya. They were singing this, what we started with. Amritasya Putraha. Just think what message Vivekananda brought to the world like a magician. India is everywhere today. And as I read it by Paramahansa Yogananda, written in God Talks to Arjuna, page 246, chapter 2, volume 1. In the second para, he's saying, at the time India was conquered by the Western colonial power, says J.T. Sunderland, a great historian, that India was the richest country in the world. He goes on to say, this India was the richest. Why? Because of this Vedanta knowledge. And you and I know so little. I had made it my point to, while practicing Kriya Yoga, the great discovery of the Babaji for the Grihis and monks, we must learn the rich heritage of Vedanta. And that's how Paramahansa Yogananda, Vedanta, as you recollect, is Bhagavad Gita, is Upanishad, is Brahma Sutra 3. And Paramahansa Yogananda wrote Bhagavad Gita. His commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, in which he goes on to say that anything that was created during that time, and there was a supportive book written called India in Bondage, 1930. India was brought in bondage by the colonial power. He goes on to say, anything which was created in the world, whether it is of art or industrial or technology, India was far, far ahead than Europe or in Asia. Read para 3 of page 246. Many of you have autobiography, Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda's, this God Talks to Arjuna, Bhagavad Gita. And in the fourth para, he goes on to say, let us remember And he writes it like this: wrote the eminent historian and philosopher Will Durant, a case for India, Simon and Custer. Simon and Custer were the ones who wrote that India in bondage, 1930. That India is the motherland of our race. I'm trying for all of us to understand. I didn't know all this. Nobody taught us in the school college days. And he goes on to say Sanskrit is the mother of Europeans' language. And the mathematics through the Arab came from India to the Western world. He goes on to say, and Christianity took its prominence because of Indians. Did you know that? And if you Google it, you go to Amazon.com, write Jesus came to India. You'll find at least 24, 25 books. I have been blessed to have a few of them. I think I have about 19 of them. Fantastic knowing, why did Jesus come to India? And this is what happened to me. That knowledge is about 18. Paramahansa Yogananda came about 18 years after. 1893 came Vivekananda to the United States, and about 18 years later. And there, in autobiography, if you read towards the end, I think it is page 394, where Paramahansa Yogananda's disciple is quoting that he had met Dr. Eddington, was the disciple. He had met Swami Vivekananda when he was 18 years of age. And he is telling, he was walking in the Chicago World Conference. He was walking with his mother on the pavement. And he suddenly found Vivekananda with his turban, the magician. I'm looking at him like that. And he said, Mother, he is the one who saved my life. What had happened when he was 5 years old, if you read Autobiography Yogi towards the end, it is explained by Dr. Eddington. He was playing around in a swimming pool with his brothers, and somehow he slipped and fell, or somebody pushed him playfully, and he didn't know swimming. He was drowning. And brothers were trying to reach him. They also didn't know swimming. And he was going to drown. He had gone down 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And suddenly, Dr. Eddington is saying, I found a brilliant flash of light coming from below the swimming pool tank and pushing me outwards towards that the bank of the swimming pool. And he said, I saw the face, and this is his face, Vivekananda's face. Read it, it's fantastic, electrifying reading it. Mother said, are you sure? Let's go and see what are they talking. At the end of the talk, Dr. Eddington went and asked Swamiji, I want to be your disciple, 18 years old boy. Swamiji said, as it is written down in autobiography, I'm not your guru, but your guru will come from India. He said, how will I know? He said, he'll give you a silver cup. He is the magician. And he got the silver cup in one of the Christmas from his Gurudev. Many years after he became a disciple, he didn't get it, and he was wondering, is he really my Guru? Why haven't I got my silver cup? And eventually he got it. And if you read it, wonderful reading. This Vivekananda was coming back in to the magician. He's talked about the Turiya. Talked about, you're the creatures of light. This waking state, dream state, deep sleep state was not always there. Your body will always not be there. But you are that light, that consciousness, that awareness will never die. It was always there. You are thousands of years old. You're not just this body of flesh and a mind and a name and a form. Yes, you are utilizing that name and the form to complete our journey to become one with the realization of who we really are. Vivekananda goes ahead and explains, we are not born, we do not die. If the body dies, we do not get angry or jealous or greedy or small-mindedness. If the mind does, we do not get enlightened. It goes on to say, you are already enlightened. So what is this enlightening? The paradigm is of two types of enlightenment, which Vivekananda talked about. One is that you start to realize, I am not this body and the mind and the name and the form. You start to realize, you just start to know it and start to say, wow. Just like in the dream state, you forgot, or rather you did not realize you're not a body. You were there in the dream. I am there. I am in the dream. But that I doesn't have that body which is lying in the bed, not the name. Just like that, when you get onto the meditative Turiya state, as you start to experience that light, and many of you are very advanced yogis, are practicing it and getting it, you will forget your body exists. You will forget that you are this name and the form. Forget meaning, you will not realize it. Before that, maybe your knee was paining and we felt like shifting. And when you get connected to that light, as we keep practicing it, we made it a point to practice every day, at least 15 minutes or so. We'd like to make it longer, and then when we start to get in the ashrama, and sometimes maybe in a virtual also, going ahead and telling that this spiritual going, it is, we are spiritual being having a human experience. This human body is an experience we are having, but we truly are the spiritual being, that Amrita Saputra. A beautiful poem was written by Swami Ramakrishna, who is the disciple of Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, same name. Swami Ramakrishna wrote this poem. I will read it out to you. This is how he explains who Vivekananda is. Anitya Drishyeshu Vivicha Nityam Tasnim Samadhatta Yasma Lilaya Viveka Vairaga Vishuddha Chityam Yoho Viveka Tamasam Namami. He said, like a child's play, you and I take so much time to get onto that Turiya state. He said Vivekananda does it like a child's play and stays there. And why? How does he do it? Viveka Vairaga. He knows what is real, what is not real. And he goes on to say, Yasasman Lilaya, in this, Tasnim Samadhatta Yasasman Lilaya, Viveka Vairaga, Yoso Viveka Tamaham Sabami, in which, in this world, so-called the world of the practical world, the world of the material, the matter, the body, the people, in that reality, he realizes what is actually the truth, the reality of the awareness of the consciousness. He realizes it and he discriminates it, called Vairag. Viveka is understanding and Vairag is letting it go. We salute Tamaham Namami. We salute that Viveka. And that Viveka is there in you and me too. We have to get into that Tasnim Samadhitya. We have to come to that state. Why? Shravanam, Mananam, Nidityasanam. Regular practice, not giving it up, whatever be the condition. No, I'm not this body. suffering, sickness, disease, joy, fun, enjoyment, sensual pleasures, they're all of the body. And doing great and feeling great and doing dhanam and taking care of people and karma yogi, or selfishness, hoarding, and labeling everybody and naming everybody and finding fault with everybody. These are all of mind. And mind and the name form goes away, comes the deep sleep state, the experiencing the blankness of experience. Experiencing that no experience. Understand it? Let me repeat that. I'm experiencing no experience. At that time in the meditation, I realized I am not this blankness. I am the light behind. And I am that light of awareness with which I experience the three states, Mandakya Upanishad. And I am able to discern, separate the world. And when I come out of the meditation, I start to experience the world knowing that I'm not this body. I'm playing the role. Just like an actor plays 3-4 roles, you are now an actor playing the role of the son, the daughter, the wife, the husband, the professional, the devotee, the teacher, but totally detached from the action, like that milk, curd, butter. Milk and curd can be mixed with this samsara, the water. Milk can be mixed with water. Curd can be mixed with water. Once the curd is churned through practices, Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasanam, into a butter, butter is in the water. Butter doesn't run up to mountain Himalaya to live there and say, I have to realize Brahman, God, Ishvara, Divine Mother, and renouncing husbands and wives or children and parents and dissolving the duties of the samsara. No, be in the samsara. This is what Vivekananda brought in. Notice the magician. He brought in, what is the great message of Vivekananda? He describes what is religion. If anybody asks you what is religion, you will find it very difficult. But once you understand, so the great masters like Vivekananda, Paramahamsa Yogananda, and other great masters, Vivekananda particularly explains, he said religion is manifestation of the divinity which is already in you. Manifestation of that awareness, the consciousness in you. Manifestation. He did not say the knowledge of it. He did not say the knowingness. He did not say understanding it. No, he said manifestation. Manifestation is bringing it into practice. Manifesting where? In every second part of his statement of the religion, in every walk of life. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, no, I am not the doer. It's the awareness which is doing. I'm not the body. It is the Sat and the Chit. The existence and the consciousness have brought this body into the material. And the body will die, but I shall remain. And this is what he goes on to explain. He gets completely absorbed like a child's play. The core of Swami Vivekananda's policies are different. Shankaracharya brought in what? Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Very simple, one-liners. Each one of the great prophets, great spiritual leaders, 1400 years ago, Shankaracharya, one sentence. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. This world is not true. Brahma alone is Satyam. And that Brahma is who? Is you. And this is what is our journey. Subsequently came Ramanujam. Ramanujam came and said, he is Vishishta Advaita. He says, God is a part, and you, God is complete and you are a part of that. The whole thing is, the complete thing is God, and you are a part of that. So notice now Hanumanji's statement. Paramahansa Ramakrishna used to say, what did Hanumanji say when Ramachandra asked him, what is your relationship with me? Hanumanji said, Deha buddhya dasoham. He said, Dvaita, I'm your servant, you're my Lord. When I think myself as a body, you and I, like me, we think ourselves as a body, then God is Lord, our friend, our mother, our father, and I am the son, daughter, servant, friend. Jiva buddhya. Tadam sakha. I'm your friend. When I look at it itself as a part. And then he says, and this part of it is Jiva Buddha, is Madhavachari's talk. After Ramanujam came Madhavachari. And he says, Atma Buddha, when I look at myself as consciousness, as awareness, Tameva Aham, you and I are not separate. Now, out of these three, which one is right? He goes on to add immediately. Iti Nishchaya Buddhi, all of these are correct. Depending on what is my mind state. So yours and my mind state is the one which is going to tell us. Madhavacharya said what? Dvaita, Dvaitavadi, Dvaita, dualism, Advaita, non-dual. Dvaita, dualism. And Ramanujam was Vishishta Advaita. Such wonderful knowledge and the wisdom, and just see our country's education system are not teaching. And where is Ireland, Holland? They're teaching their children. Sanskrit is a part of the language. He's going on to say that we are different. Many is real, we are also real. Dvaito. I'm also real, you're also real. Prakriti and Purusha, both are real. Swamiji was asked this question, what is yours? What's your idea? Is it true, Swamiji? I will read out, he was asked this question. Buddha had said that many are real and always changing. You know, our body is changing, the world is changing, nature is changing, volcano is changing, ocean is reducing, becoming Mount Everest and becoming ocean, and Mount Everest becoming ocean. It's continuous fluxing. You must have read about all this. He was asked, Buddha had said that many are real and always changing, and ego is in a flux. Hinduism teachers say that one is real and many are illusion. Only one is the truth. And many are illusion. It's not true. It's a dream. Like you and I just now were starting. That this is not real. Vivekananda goes there and said, yes, it is true. What you talked about. But what I and my guru have brought it to the world. He says, many and one are different aspects of reality. Both are true. Depends on the state of your mind. How are you? Whether state of your mind meaning whether you're believing in Advaitavad or Dvaitavad. Your mind believing what? But both are true. And he goes on to say, we have brought it to the world that it is same reality. It is no different. You can perceive the same in different time, at different attitude through Raja Yoga. Kriya Yoga is the supreme of the Raja Yoga. Karma Yoga, working selflessly. Bhakti Yoga, utter devotion and love. In the pyramid structure, Ramanujam Bhakti Yoga is top and Karma Yoga is in between. And Jnana Yoga is just below the Bhakti Yoga. In Madhvacharya, Bhakti Yoga is right on top, and below that is Raja Yoga, below that is Karma Yoga, below that is Jnana Yoga. And Shankaracharya, Jnana Yoga is right on top, and then Bhakti, and then Karma, and then Raja Yoga. This is how they had talked about it with their procedures. So, how do we do this? So, Paramahansa Ramakrishna used to give this example, very simple, that sand and sugar is mixed. This world is mixed with reality and not real. Dream world and the real world. But he said an ant can separate it to become the ant, the knower. This is the sugar. This is sand. This is Vairag. I will leave the sand behind. And Viveka, discriminating what is real and what is not real. And he goes on to say, milk and water is mixed. You all must have heard about it. A swan, I always wondered, how do they do it? But they separate the milk and drink up the milk and leaves the water behind. He says, be like, this is why this term came, Paramahansa. Paramahansa is the among that swan, the supreme, who knows what is real and what is not real. Vivekananda's description about religion, description about what are we supposed to do in, let's say, education, learning, teaching and learning. He's saying education is the manifestation of the divinity which is already in man. Develop that divinity which is within you. Spirituality is preaching to the mankind. Vivekananda is saying, my entire life's mission can be just spoken in 2 sentences. Preaching to the mankind the reality of the divinity within and manifested in every walk of life. Education is the manifestation of that divinity in man. It is not certain data and information and learning. Though once you manifest it, you will see picking up those data and doing a degree and a higher study becomes a piece of cake. Because now you are working and learning with the focus of the mind, which is because of reflective consciousness, which is because of the consciousness. And freedom of religion. Vivekananda goes ahead and says, all religion taking you to the same target. It's the same words of his gurus. Pulling down your own religion or pulling down others' religion, he says, is utterly immature action. He doesn't use any other word. He said it's total immaturity. Shankaracharya explains this, if you can see it, the slide, that you imagine a clay pot which has got lots of holes. And through these holes, that brilliant light is going out in various rays. That universe in which light is one, consciousness is one. Many of us say, no, I'm different, you're different, she's different, he's different, and we all have different mind, different body, different name and form. We also have different consciousness. This is what people think. Shankaracharya goes ahead and says, which is Vivekananda brought it to the world. Now, it is one light, one consciousness, which through various people, various name, form and function, animals and the plants, it goes out but it is the same light. Looking at that pot, it's so easy to understand it this way. So, unity of all existence is one. And this is another magic that magician Vivekananda brought in, that seek oneness. Separation is because of the mind and the body, which is called samsara, which is called suffering. Suffering happens the moment you become dual. Dualistic is separation. Non-dual is oneness, and oneness is ceases of all suffering. So yours and my journey during the prayers, continuously trying to say, we are not separate. We appear to be separate. It's a dream, it's an essence in which there is only one consciousness, there is only one awareness, and that one awareness is reflecting through all of us. You don't have to be a jnani, a bhakta. You don't have to be a great worshipper. You just be yourself. And be yourself is not dive into the pleasures of the world and desires and cravings. Be yourself is the true you. And then be in the samsara. You don't have to run away. It's such a powerful message. That be in the samsara, but see that consciousness in everyone. In your husband, in your wife. See that God in them. Where is God? Ishvara everywhere. How is it? That awareness, consciousness, there is everywhere. There is nothing in this universe which doesn't have the consciousness. It is there in this table. It is there in the clock. But because they don't have a sukshma sharira. In a sukshma sharira, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manamaya kosha, jnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. As per Vedanta, when I die, my body stays back, which is buried or burnt. But these koshas, like a balloon, leave, which is nothing else but the mind. And mano buddhi chitta ahankar, like a balloon, goes and seeks to fulfill your mission. Whatever you have done in the practices during this life, it will go with you as your bank balance. Nothing will be lost. Good, good, bad, bad. Everything will go with you. And this is why our great masters say, do only good. Carry the good thing with you. Notice, we are not going to carry our property, or name and form or function or relationship. You're going to proceed based on your work here and fulfill till the time you realize who we really are. For India, Vivekananda wanted the country to reawaken. And once when he was coming back with Sister Nivedita in the ship, he had spoken to Sister Nivedita, Irish lady, Margaret. And this Sister Nivedita in the school in Dublin, Ireland, where she used to teach, that is the one who's talking in Sanskrit. I do not know if there are many others, but this is the one which presented in that. It's a beautiful, wonderful to see that our Indian rich heritage culture is being spread all over the world. And it makes me feel sad to see that we are not doing it ourselves in our country. And we are trying to follow, mimicking the Western culture, Western clothes, Western ways of living. What are we saying? Couple the Western science, Western technology, Western practices, Western knowledge, Western philosophy with Vedanta. join them together. And the rich heritage of the ancient India will become yours and mine. So, Sister Nivedita was told about India. Swami Vivekananda was standing on the railing of the ship with Sister Nivedita. She looked at the shores of India and she exclaimed, Swamiji, this looks so peaceful, so calm, so beautiful. And Swamiji goes ahead and says, that is the peace of a graveyard. We are oppressed by the foreign power. We do not have food to eat. We are ill-nourished. We have lost our own religion practices and we are trying to copy the Western. This is not peace. The peace of awakening. Work has to be done by all of us. This message of the yoga, 1893, 11 September onwards, Vivekananda brought it to the Western world. Today, those 4 yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, all 3 were written by Vivekananda in New York and published. Bhakti Yoga also part of it, and other part was done in England. Even the logo of Ramakrishna Mission was done by Vivekananda in US. And he goes on to say, take any one or all of them. Take only Bhakti, take only Raja, take only Karma, take only Jnana, any one of them or all of them. What are we doing? We are coupling all of them. Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga through practices of Kriya Yoga, Hamsa, Omkar meditation, Kriya Yoga, going into meditation, supreme of yoga, of the Raja Yoga. And then Bhakti Yoga, our devotion to Babaji, to Krishna, to the Divine Mother, Mother of the Universe, to Paramahansa Yogananda, Yakteshwar Giri Laharimase, to Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother, and Paramahansa Ramakrishna. All gurus are all the time, including the Divine Mother, is present all the time with you and me. Sarvavyapi Anantam Advaitam. But only thing, our Jnana Netra, third eye, is closed. And as you start to practice and see, you will start to get intuitive messages. You will come to see things happening. What you're getting message is happening. In future, it is happening. Maybe immediately after, maybe a little later, you'll come to know. And that Jnana Netra is going to tell you about that oneness. So waves and waves are like you and me. Dvaita Vishishta is the ocean, is the God, and we are the waves. Ocean has got so much of water. God is so powerful and big. This is Ramanujam. And you and I are small little wave. We are the parent. We are the people. But we are small. We got only little water. But once you go to Advaita, you realize the underlying reality is only one, and that is water. If I take away the water from a glass, I have glass left, water left. Two objects become from one. Glass full of water becomes water and glass. But I can't take away water from the wave because it's the essential reality. I cannot take away water from the ocean or the river. The water alone is the essential reality, like the gold in the ornament. If I take away the gold, ornaments will vanish for a gold ornament. If I take away the clay from the clay pot, the pot will vanish. Similarly, is through the modern practitioners, what Swami Vivekananda did, he not only coupled East and West, he coupled the past, the present, and the future. When you read that United Nations mission statement and hear the comment of the Secretary General, you realize, wow. And this is the legacy we have. Great yogis like Paramahansa Yogananda, Yukteswar Giri Lahiri Mahasaya, and 1,000 more. And Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother Paramahansa Ramakrishna, whether Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh, Ramana Maharshi, or Mahavir Jain, or Buddha, or Jesus Christ, everyone, one or many, practice whichever way. This is the universality of religious practices. The biggest hostility, there is one Professor Leon, you can Google him, he's a very Jeffrey Leon. He is in Philadelphia, he's a professor of philosophy. He himself is a monk. He's taken the initiation, he and his wife both. He met his wife in Ramakrishna Mission, they married. He's not a monk, but he's an initiated and he works and behaves like a monk. He was talking about the hostility in religion. How much is it in world over? Listening to him, I came to know, I believe, this year, during Durga Puja in Bangladesh, there was tremendous hostile action. Going into Vivekananda's statement, my mission in life can be put into a few words. It is to preach into the mankind their divinity within, and now to manifest it every walk of life. Now, let's do a revision of the practice. We are already at 10 past 12, though we don't have a limit, but let's finish it for about 10-15 minutes of meditative practice. I think by 12:30 or so, pretty good time, we should finish. So, sitting comfortably, keeping our back straight, and chin not down. General mistake. I find it everywhere. People will go off like this. It will automatically put you to sleep. And also bombarding negative thoughts. Parallel practical thinking, what to do, how much to earn, what work do I have to do for the rest of the Sunday, all those thoughts will come up. Little above. The moment you put the little above, and as you do the practice, you'll find beautiful, brilliant light coming into the forehead and divine thoughts will come in. Sitting posture, right over left, dhyana mudra, jnana mudra, and resting on top of the thigh, sitting, whether in a chair, cushion, on the ground. Remember, very simple guidelines, one place every day, twice a day, at Brahma Muhuratas. Those 4 Muhuratas, all of your experienced yogis, you know, at least 2 times a day, early morning and during the Sandhya, during the sunset time, sunrise time, sunset time. Utilize these 2. Direction northeast or north or east. You should not have eaten anything 2 hours before, but after doing the meditation yoga practices, you can eat anything immediately thereafter. You may keep a little water next to you, no tea, coffee or drink or juices, only water. And sitting in practice, let us focus our mind onto our breath. Feel the cool wind in the tip of the nostril, not taking long, big breath or trying to make it small. Just breathe normally. Natural breathing. As you're breathing, silently chanting within your mind, Asanga Aham, Asanga Aham, Asanga Aham. In Vedantic practices, we begin by saying, I am completely detached because of my vairag, because I understand, discriminate what is real, what is not real. Asanga aham, asanga aham, asanga. I am because of the infinite ocean of existence, which has made this body, the people around me, my family, things around me, the world, the universe. Infinite ocean of existence. I realize this universe, I become aware of my consciousness. By the power of the consciousness, awareness, I realize the world around me, the people around me. I learn, I talk, I taste, I experience the five senses. Siprabhav, I am the light. Dvaita Varchita, I am all by myself. Become aware of your right from toe, feet touching the cool floor or the blanket below you. Become aware of the legs and the body and the torso. Become aware of the entire body, presence in the place where we are sitting. Ask yourself, no movement. Focus on the tip of the nose, the coolness of the breath. I will chant, beginning of the awareness, Om Tar, as per Mandukya. For those beginners. Is the waking state. U is the dream, sleep state. And experiencing the absence of experiencing in the deep sleep state. I'm chanting loudly, you may chant it silently. I'm blessed to have an ambience where I can. Nobody will be disturbed. Take a deep breath. Again, deep breath. I'm aware of the Jagrat because of my awareness, consciousness of my body, of my name, of my place, of the time, of the days and the calendar. My waking state, I'm aware. I'm aware of the dream state, not a particular dream, any dream, just the state of the dreaming. I'm aware of the deep sleep, blankness, darkness. I am aware that beyond the wall of the blankness, darkness, the brilliance of light, I am that light. I am the consciousness, awareness, that light. I am not the hunger or the thirst or the sickness, suffering or the strife or the struggle. Those are of the body. I am not the joy or the thoughts or the functions of happiness or sorrow or sadness. Those are of the mind and of the sapna, of the dream of the mind. I'm aware because of my awareness that light is who I am. I'm experiencing the blankness of experience of the deep sleep. Again, I am the consciousness. The world is not real. The consciousness alone is real. Prapancha upasana. The disease and the death, the growth and the decays of the body. I am that light which is beyond death. This light, the awareness, the consciousness is immortal. Is brilliance of the Virata Rupa, which 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna saw of Krishna. I am aware of the dream state. I'm aware of the blankness, experiencing through the deep sleep. Silence, Shanta, I am the light. I'm using this body like an apse, a name, form, and function. I am the light. Shiva, I am Shiva. I am peace, Sundara. The death and the disease and the strife and the struggle are all of this earth, samsara. because of the duality. I am one consciousness with everyone. Their bodies and minds are different. We are one consciousness. Again. I'm one with this light of the universe. I see this light of awareness and consciousness in everyone. A short example, you feel like staying in it long. Focusing back to the breath. As we will be coming out of this state. Keeping in mind in awareness, I'm not the body, not the name, not the form. I have to take care of the body in the name and the form to keep it in good state of mind with detachment, bringing in good character, good condition of health, but detached. As you open your eyes, open at your own knee or palm. Very good. My salutations to the Brahman in each one of you. Do you have any question before we sign off for this Sunday? Continue to practice. After the Kriya, start with at least 15 minutes. And as you get onto it, you'll find it's very intoxicating. You'll not feel like coming out. You'll forget that your body exists, just like you forgot your body exists in your dream state, in your deep sleep state. You forgot that your body is lying in the bed. Just like that, when you come to this fourth, and it is so powerfully simple and beautiful. Get into it. I welcome. Any questions from anyone? You have a beautiful day ahead. Do take care. Once you're connected with this consciousness, you will find with the divine grace of the consciousness, Brahman, Jagat Janani, Divine Mother, Babaji, Krishna, and our Guru Devas, Gurus of all religion and gods of all religion will protect you from all suffering. Jai Guru.